Hey everybody.
Hello, everyone.
We're just getting started a little early, doing a little bit of setup. Welcome if you're here already. We feel like we have a couple of viewers on early with us, which is great. I'm Yolanda.
I'm Lobsang.
We're so happy to have you here. So we have a few little things that we need to do to prepare for the webinar. So we're just going to turn
India.
And I'm Yolanda O'Bannon, and for our website, I'm like Lobsang, we both wear a lot of hats. I'm producer, writer, photographer, and editor. I've served as a staff or volunteer in a number of Tibetan support organizations over the last 18 years. So the Milarepa Foundation, Tibet Online, Committee of 100 for Tibet, San Francisco Team Tibet, and our local Tibetan Association of Northern California. And before we get into the content, we just want to let you know about today's special and a giveaway. And we're very happy to announce that we'll have a giveaway at the end of the webinar today, and also that there's special pricing on our course during the live webinar. So one person will win a free practical guide for Tibetan Buddhism self-paced course. To enter, you purchase the course during the webinar, and at the end of the webinar, we'll select one winner at random and give him or her 100% refund. So everyone here on the webinar also gets a coupon for $50 off the course for use during the webinar. So if you buy the webinar during the course, you get $50 off. So if you're interested to enter the giveaway and to take advantage of that special coupon that's available only during the live webinar, just scroll down a little if you're on the resource page and read the information in the orange section just under the video. You can click there and get through. If you have any trouble or that isn't clear, just shoot us a question either on Google Plus or on the Facebook page. Or you know what, we'll check our email also just before we end the webinar. So don't worry if you have any trouble with it, we'll be able to work it out for you. And if you have technical difficulties during the webinar, we can work it out. Okay, so let's get into our topic. And we wanted to show you some examples of personal Tibetan Buddhist shrines today. And actually the first one is an example of a kind of shrine that we're not talking about. So this is a Dharma Center shrine during Tibetan New Year, Losar, at the Gyutu Foundation in Richmond, California. And it's much more elaborate and complex than any of us need to do with our shrines at home. So this may be the kind of shrine that you have seen, maybe in your Dharma Center or you've gone to a temple, but this is not something you need to expect of yourself. Let's look instead at some personal shrines.
This is a personal Tibetan shrine. It's a very basic and simple. There's not much to it. There's not much thing on the shrine.
Yeah, you'll see the cabinet is actually a little special. This is our friend here in California's personal shrine. But you see the cabinet is a little special, but actually the items are pretty straightforward.
And this is another very, very simple shrine. Normally you see, if you visit in Tibetan's home, you can see like this kind of stuff. Also, very different. Everybody sets a little differently. There's no really actual rules written in one, how to set up proper shrine.
Yes. And here's one more personal shrine, and this is probably, among our friends, this is probably the most elaborate shrine. It's getting close to a Dharma shrine, and this is just to give you the range of personal shrines that people have. Well, I think we're going to take a look at this one a little later too.
And this shrine is our shrine. It's a very simple and straightforward.
Yeah, and we should know, because later we talk about it, the stupa in the shrine, it was actually borrowed from a friend. So on our personal shrine at the moment, we only have an image of a stupa, but we'll talk about that too. So one thing that's important to talk about today is the basic purpose of your shrine. And of course, this can be a really deep and academic subject, but we want to focus on just some simple and basic concepts. So the first purpose of the shrine, these are actually not in order of importance, these are just some purposes of a shrine. So one is to honor the Buddha and remind yourself of the enlightened qualities that you aim to develop. You also want, the shrine also reminds you in a very basic way of your daily Buddhist practice. It focuses your mind, and the point is to focus your mind and cultivate wisdom to free yourself of negative thoughts and behaviors. And last but far from least, you also want to open your heart and cultivate generosity through offerings. Offerings is actually a very important aspect of the purpose of your shrine. Lobsang, did you have any thoughts about this one?
Basically, this is a very simple, basically setting up shrine in your home, really accessible for you, and then so you can remind to practice daily.
Yes. Okay. And then we wanted to talk about some things that a shrine is not for, because sometimes we don't know, but a shrine is not to make a piece of art in our homes. They can be beautiful, but its purpose is not that. It's not for showing off wealth. It's not for showing off our holiness or increasing our pride. And it's not to look good for our friends. So our actual goal with our shrine is to become enlightened. So our Buddhist practice may result in positive things for us, but our core goal is enlightenment.
Right. Basically, if the ultimate goal is the enlightenment, but and then that's if you become more peaceful or more calm your life, it helps actually, even though your goal is ultimate enlightenment, but and the temporary also helps your present life.
Yes. Okay. So let's look at the basic elements of a shrine. And first, we want to focus on the three most important elements, and these are representations of the Buddha's body, speech, and mind.
Yeah, the first one is Buddhist scripture that symbolizes Buddhist speech. And then the Buddha Shakyamuni's statue is symbolized Buddha's body. And the third one is stupa, and it symbolizes the Buddha's mind.
And so these are actually the three core, most important elements on your shrine, and we'll talk about the other elements in a moment. But let's go a little bit into each of these three important elements. The first thing that you want to have represented on your shrine is the Buddha's speech, the Dharma.
Yeah, this is the most important one. If the Dharma is the most important. If Dharma doesn't exist, so almost impossible to get enlightenment.
And this image you see is an example of a very beautiful, very priceless Buddhist text. But of course, for your shrine, you can have things that are much more simple.
Yeah, this is basically Tibetan text and an English text. But just yeah, so you don't have to have Tibetan, any language you have, and Buddhist scripture. That's fun and putting on your shrine.
So the image on the left is one of Lobsang's books from his monastic study. It's the Lamrim Chimel, I think.
Yeah, this is the Lamrim Chimel.
Written in Tibetan, of course. And then the example on the right is the Essence of the Heart Sutra, the Dalai Lama's Heart of Wisdom teachings. And that one, it obviously is in English. There's actually a link on the resource page to that book if you want to get that one. These are, of course, not the only books that you could have on your shrine. They're all, Tibetan Buddhist scripture.
And this is the Tibetan text. And as you see, there's basically this, the first orange rubbed one is when we put it on a shrine or somewhere else, we always use that cloth, that kind of cloth. And then the other one is just, covered with some kind of hard cover. And the third one is just the actual scripture, and then we call peja. Basically, this is, by the way, is loose. So that's why we use the cloth.
So these, what you saw before, so these, a text in Tibetan, a kind of a book style text in Tibetan, and a book in English or Spanish or whatever, your native language might be, or this kind of like traditional Tibetan script. These are all things that you could use for the Dharma element on your shrine. So the next thing that we want to look at is the second important element to have, and that's a representation of the Buddha's body.
And then for your shrine, Buddha Shakyamuni is one of the most important one. So you can have statue of Buddha Shakyamuni on your shrine, or picture of Buddha Shakyamuni. Also you can have, Tanga of Buddha Shakyamuni. Doesn't matter, either one of them is fine.
Yeah, and we do want to note that it's the actual Buddha Shakyamuni that we're talking about here. So it's not any Buddhist statue or image. So this particular one is an image, an actual statue of the Buddha Shakyamuni or an image of the Buddha Shakyamuni. And the third important element of the three that you want to have on your shrine is a representation of the Buddha's mind, and that comes as a stupa.
Yeah, again, this, we basically, you can put a miniature stupa on your shrine, or picture of stupa on your shrine. We put our picture on our shrine, so that should be fine too.
Good. Okay, and we wanted to take we wanted to stop at a few sections and give you a moment to to do questions. So we want to see
any questions.
Yeah, just hang on a second. And if you have questions, go up, please. No. Can you scroll up? Sorry, guys, just 1 second. Okay, so we don't see, I think, okay, now we have some comments from the resource page on the Facebook. So Nikoi says he can hear us from Italy, and Bobby Wilson says, Tashdale, thank you for helping me get the Tibetan Buddhist traditions alive. And let's see if we had any questions down there. Right here. Bertolia says, I can hear you, thank you. And Preeta says, on your website, your voice is very clear. Thanks for doing this. Thank you, guys. And so we're going to pop over to the Google Plus page and see if we have any questions from the Hangout side. We need to look at the webinar view.
We can't see from here.
Oh, that's right.
I don't think we can see.
Okay, so hang on a second. I'm just going to unshare the screen a little bit here so that we can see if you guys had any questions. All right. So you guys on Google Plus, we're just looking through. Oh, Michael says, my Lama doesn't speak fluent English yet. I wasn't able to understand his explanation. Thank you. Okay. All right. So we don't see any new questions yet on there, I think. And so we'll just keep, we'll keep going, and just please be sure, and we'll have a couple more question breaks and we'll check in with you again. Okay. So the next section is on making offerings on your shrine. So making offerings is another very important purpose on the shrine, and your offerings represent giving precious gifts to the Buddhas. By doing this, you're cultivating generosity and you are creating merit so that you can become enlightened. So first we want to look at the most common offering that Tibetans make, and that is water offerings. And you can see on this first screen at the very bottom, near the bottom of this image, there's a set of 7 bowls filled with water, and those are water offerings. And here again are the water offerings on the front of our shrine. There's the 7 bowls filled with water lined up on the front edge. And we should say that the meaning of water offerings can be very deep and complex, and they represent many things, but we're just going to talk about the most simple and basic perspective. So why do we offer water?
The water, basically, we Tibetans offering water because water is very easily accessible for everyone, and it doesn't cost that much. So that's why we offer make the offering water, and then that's just symbol of that.
And it's a way of in Tibet traditionally water was very plentiful and free, so it's a way of giving without wanting anything in return, giving without resentment, and a practice to give very easily. So the 7 water bowls are often thought to represent these 7 things.
Right. First one is the drinking water, and the second one is cleansing water, and the third one is flour. Flour is the dry flour. I think they grow in somewhere in India. We call sakusha, something like that. So, and then the fourth one is incense, and then fifth one is light, and then sixth one is perfume, and then seventh one is food. Those represent of the symbol of the 7 water offerings.
So we don't want you to be confused. Like you see this line of bowls, and these are people giving these kind of representing these actual 7 things in 7 bowls. So many times people have the 7 water offerings, which also represent these things, and then they line up a second line of bowls, like a set of bowls like this. And these bowls, they put the things representing the 7 offerings, like in this page. But you'll notice on our shrine, we only have the water bowls, and that is actually very, very common. And I also just wanted to make one other comment here. The flowers can be any kind of flower.
Actually,
right?
You can put a fresh flower if you have it, and that'd be great.
Yeah. So we're just trying to give you an idea of what those 7 water offering bowls represent. So it's not actually very common to have the kind of setup that you see.
And it is here, yeah.
It's much more common just to have the water offering bowls, and they represent these things. Okay. All right. So you have noticed, we're sure, that Tibetan Buddhist shrines have a lot of stuff on them. And this is an example here, again, of the Yutu Foundation shrine taken at Losar, which, where it has the most items on it. And this is just to give you an idea of the possible many things that you can have on your shrine. But let's look at some of the things that the Tibetan people, commonly add to their personal shrines.
Yeah, this is our personal shrine during the Lhasa. This is a very simple one. We just make offering of fresh flour, and also we make make offering of fresh fruit and a dry fruit or whatever, candy and whatever you have. And also you can make also you can make the Badalam offering. This is the Badalam offering holder, but you can put, if you don't have it, you can use a candle. It's totally fine.
So another thing, that most Tibetans have a picture of their guru or their lama on the shrine. This, on our shrine, it's a picture of His Holiness the Dalai Lama, who's special, of course, to all Tibetans. You'll see also, just next to the main picture of His Holiness, you'll see a picture of His Holiness the Sakya Tsen Rinpoche, and a second image of His Holiness in the little locket there. You can put any spiritual teacher who is precious to you on your shrine.
Also, just side note, this is like, if you take picture with your teacher, you shouldn't put on the shrine your photo, basically with your teacher. So that's not the appropriate place to put on shrine. So I have seen that some cases. So normally you don't want to put your photo in the shrine.
Yeah, I mean, of course you can display that picture in your home. Just don't put it on your shrine. You can put your just put your spiritual teacher's picture on your shrine if you wish. That's all optional. It's one thing that's great about Tibetan Buddhism and Tibetans in general, that they're very practical and generally flexible. I mean, there are some rules, but there's a lot of flexibility.
Yeah, this is also, or you can play Tanga. Tanga is, we have in our shrine room, we have also Buddha Shakyamuni Tanga. So you can play behind, if you have space, you can directly behind your shrine.
Yes. And generally speaking, people will put a tanka of the Buddha Shakyamuni above your shrine. If you have another tanka and you don't have a tanka of the Buddha Shakyamuni, you can put the other ones. But let's say if you have 3 tankas, you want to put the Buddha Shakyamuni in the center, right?
Yeah.
And then the other ones on the side. Okay, and we had another minute. Let's just pass through this question break, because we have another one. Since we didn't have a ton of questions at the beginning, I would say we'll pass through this, and then we'll ask questions at the end of this section. Oh, we have 5 more comments. Hold on one second. How do I know the Buddhist? Okay, Laura has a good question. How do I know if the Buddha statue I use is of the Buddha Shakyamuni? That's a really good question. So let's go back to our image.
Yeah, the Buddha Shakyamuni, actually, this is the Buddha Shakyamuni. They have so many different visualizations where they sit, so you can tell by sitting on 2 like cross, and then your left hand and holding his cup, and then right hand putting on it. That's the special Buddha Shakyamuni's position. So that's why we know this is Buddha Shakyamuni. Yeah.
You see in the tanka, and then also both of these Buddha Shakyamuni images, they all have that position. They're seated cross-legged, both legs folded, right hand touching the earth in the, I can't remember the name of that mudra, and then the left hand is holding his bowl.
Yeah, the other statue of Buddha is a little different.
Great question, Laura. And if you have a picture and you want to send it to us, go ahead. Bobby asked us, is in the slide about putting a picture of your guru, what does the little candle to the right represent? Oh, okay.
Oh, this is just the candle that we made offering. So just showing you the picture, but this candle is just, just offering.
Yeah, it's no special meaning. It's just offerings on our shrine. This is just like one of our little optional items. Although in a bigger sense, it represents the light of the Dharma and, our wish to be enlightened. Oops, sorry. Okay, so we're just going to pop through the end of these. Okay, and we want to go now to a section about where to place the things. And this is actually where we've had the most questions so far, and about caring for your shrine. So the most simple kind of shrine is shown here with all the objects on one level. So you imagine just a tabletop or just one shelf. And Lobsang will explain where to put everything if you just have, like we do, one level. Okay?
Yeah, basically Tibetans, we always kind of do this left to right. Left is the first, so we put the first one as scripture. Scripture is the most important. That's why we put it at first left. And the second one is Buddha Shakyamuni, and then third one is stupa.
So as you're facing the shrine, you're going to put the Dharma on the left, the statue of the Buddha in the middle, and the stupa on the right. And this is the same holds true if you have images of these things instead of the actual things. And then also if you have other little offerings.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Also, you can put the in front of, you can put the water offerings. Also if you have butter lamp, that'd be great.
And the butter lamp, you'll notice, go in this shrine setup, the butter lamp is between the 3rd and 4th water offering bowls, but it could also be between the 4th and the 5th. And actually there's no rule. So if you want to put it between the 2nd and 3rd, that's okay. I think most commonly it's either after the 3rd or after the 4th. Or sometimes that's usually where it goes, right?
Yes.
All right, and then let's, sorry, one second. Okay, so if you have 2 levels on your shrine, that means imagine 2 shelves, for example. On the upper level, you want to have your Buddhist scripture, the Buddhist statue, and the stupa, so those 3 core elements. And then the lower level, you want to have your water offerings, flowers, candles, etc. And one thing many of you probably know, but for Tibetans, like, higher level always represents a more respectful position. So of course, the 3 most important things go up on the higher level, and then the lower level, the other items. And then some of you may have 3 or more levels. And in that case, you put the Dharma, the Buddhist scripture goes on the highest level. The middle level is your statue, other statues, and your stupa. And then the lower level is the water offerings, flowers, candles, etc.
Right.
So I just really want to stress on that last one, that the highest level will always be your Buddhist scripture, your Dharma. Okay, now where to put your shrine? So we get a lot of questions about this too, and so we just separated it into 2 things. So we'll first do the do's. So do put your shrine in any clean, quiet area of your home that you use for your spiritual practice. Put it on any clean shelf, bookshelf, or tabletop that is higher than the level of your head as you sit facing it. Again, that's the idea of like higher or being more respectful. And if it's necessary to put it in your bedroom, that's okay, but put it at a level higher than the bed and at the head of the bed. So many Tibetans have a separate room for their shrine, but His Holiness the Dalai Lama has said recently that he doesn't consider this important, especially if you never go in that special room or if it's just for show. So, many people, maybe most people, don't have room in their homes for a whole separate room for their shrine. So it's absolutely fine if you don't do that. Now the don'ts. So.
Okay, the don'ts: never put your shrine in dirty area, in the bathroom, on the floor, any, kind of, it's...
like where your shoes are, anything that's considered dirty that way. So if it is necessary to put it in your bedroom, don't put it at the foot of your bed since your feet are considered dirty. And then we just want to say, having said that, if you have a tiny little space and you don't have any choice, I believe it's better to have a shrine in the non-perfect condition than to not have one at all.
Right. So basically, if you have one room, everything, so you can put a kind of, little corner as kind of clean area. It's supposed to be really clean and, kind of more presentable. So when you do meditation, it's supposed to be much, better.
Yeah. So the core idea here is just to be as respectful as you possibly can. So, do your absolute best. And if, whatever that is going to have to be okay. So, and finally, we want to talk about caring for your shrine. At the basic level, just keep your shrine clean and fresh and not dusty, and make your water offerings in the morning and take them down in the afternoon or evening as possible. We have a link on the resource page for how to make your water offerings. We wrote a whole post about how you pour it and what order and how much water and all that stuff, and when you put them up and when you take them down. But this is the basic care for your shrine, right?
Yes.
And then we wanted to give you a simple start for a daily shrine practice. We know many of you may already have a practice, but we wanted to give you an example of a basic daily practice to get you started if you don't have a practice yet. And that is so you start, just make sure your shrine area is clean. You make your water offerings. While you do that, you visualize that you're offering endless quantities of everything beautiful and precious to a vast assembly of Buddhas. That's one visualization you can do. Then as you make the offerings, you want to recite one or all of these mantras. You can.
Yeah. Also, it depends when we make a water offering, or we do all the time this mantra. This is the most well-known mantra. I learned this when I was a little kid. So we recite this mantra all the time. We call Om Mani Padme Hum. This is the Avalokiteshvara mantra, and then we call also Generic. The second one is Om Muni Muni Maha Muni Swaha. This one is very commonly used in Tibetan Buddhist practice. This is Buddha Shakyamuni's mantra. And the third one is Om Dari Tudari Turi Swaha. This is Tara mantra. Also, this is a well-recited mantra.
And then finally, you can make 3 prostrations at your shrine. Excuse me. And this is, again, we have a link to a post about this on the resource page about how to make prostrations. And we have 3 different kinds that you can do. Pretty much any physical ability can do these kinds of shrines. Prostrations. Okay, let's take a minute here and let's go to the Google Hangout and also to our Facebook. I'm sorry, I'm just going to change the screen a little bit so that we can see the questions. Okay, so Maria Beatrice asked us, my bell and dorji are in my shrine instead of the stupa. Is this appropriate?
You can put a dorji and tibu next to maybe water offering area, but not equal to Buddha statue or equal to stupa. But you can put away if there's this empty place next to Buddha, kind of you can put a little. This is just object. It's not representation of the 3 things that we talked about. So you can put it in a shrine, but we cannot treat as stupa or Buddha Shakyamuni or Buddha scripture.
So if you don't have a stupa, maybe you can do what we do, which is just put an image of the stupa, just put a framed or other image of the stupa on your shrine in that stupa place. And if you go to the resource page, there's a download of that same image of the stupa that we use if you want. And I'm just scrolling through and seeing if we have. Kaki says, thank you for offering this webinar. You're very welcome, Kaki. Pedma asked, could you mention the offering bowl order and what is in each one? And so I think we covered that. Pedma, let us know if we didn't. And then Sandy asked, is it okay to put one's mala, bell, etc. on the shrine too?
Oh, you can put it, your mala on the shrine, but not, kind of, as I said, similar to dorji tibu. Basically, you can put it on the shrine, but don't, put the highest possible place.
Okay, that's good. And then Pipi Langais asked, should a shrine always be on a high table, above high level, etc.?
If possible, you can put highest, and then as in Tibetan, we always highest is the kind of more respected. That's why we put it shrines in a little high place. If you don't have, and it's okay.
Well, also if it's let's say if your shrine is in your meditation room, and you sit while you meditate, it just needs to be higher than your head when you're sitting. Hopefully that makes sense. And then we're just scrolling through. I see some more here. If one doesn't have a stupa and doesn't want to use a picture, what can be used for the Buddha's mind? Asked Mercy.
Oh, that's good. That is really good question. But if you don't have it, you don't have to use, I think, but maybe you can do this, like, maybe you can make up some kind of some representative of, like maybe some kind of text instead of like, with this stupor. But I'm not sure. This is, I never heard about it.
Hope that helps. And then, should the shrine always be in? Okay, we saw that. We can hear you. Terrain is in California is joining us. Hi, Terrain. And I'm sorry if I'm saying your name wrong. So Janet asked, you provided copy of Tibetan script of the Heart Sutra in the downloads. Many of our Sangha cannot afford to pay for many items. Would a copy of the Heart Sutra Tibetan script be appropriate for including the Buddha's word on the shrine?
That's perfectly fine. If you don't have it, Heart Sutra, you can just put that, print out. You can print out our downloads, then just put it on the shrine. That should be fine.
Yeah, so we definitely have a download of
the Heart Sutra.
The Heart Sutra written in Tibetan, I think.
Yes.
And you can see that in the live downloads. Okay, and then somebody, Sage asked, could you please repeat the 7 water bowl offerings? And I'm just looking for that list to make sure that we have them correctly. So the order was...
Maybe you can say it more clearly.
Sure. The first one was drinking water. The second was cleansing water. The third was flowers. Fourth was incense. Fifth was light. Sixth was perfume. And the 7th was food. Okay, and we're just going to go also to the Facebook. I see a couple of new questions here. Bobby asked, Diane says, I'm getting great ideas. Thank you, Diane. And Bobby asked, what if one, this is a very good question, Bobby. What if one has not the 7 bowls for water offerings? What would be advisable to use in the interim? 1 bowl with the intent for 7?
You normally, yeah, you can use 1 bowl, or you can use maybe 3. You can use 5. We never use pair, some reason. So that's kind of Tibetan way of thinking. So definitely you can use, if you have 1, just use 1.
Okay, great questions, you guys. We're going to have at least one, I think we have one more question section. But right now we wanted to let you know we're going to be doing the drawing for the giveaway coming up in about 10 minutes. And we'll pick one person from everyone who purchased our Practical Guide to Tibetan Buddhism course today or during this webinar. And that person we'll choose one winner, and that person will get 100% refund on what they paid. And we just want to tell you a little bit about the course right now if you don't know about it. The name of it is A Practical Guide for Tibetan Buddhism. And what is it? It's a self-paced online course that shows you how Tibetans perform the most basic Buddhist practices. It's not a Dharma class, so to speak. It's really a how-to on the most basic Tibetan Buddhist practices.
Yeah, basically this course show you how normal Tibetans do their practice daily home.
And then who is the course for? So first of all, it's for people who are new to Tibetan Buddhism. It's also for people who already have teachers and have a practice or have been studying on their own, but they haven't had a chance to learn the how-to of the practices. Someone mentioned, I forget, that their teacher doesn't speak fluent English yet, or maybe you don't speak Tibetan. So, it's hard to communicate some of the ideas, and especially these very practical things, which for Tibetans, growing up in Tibetan society, it's almost like breathing. You just know all of these things. So
basically we come naturally because my parents doing all the time, or my neighbors or my friends. So just, we are, our environment is grow up like that. That's why we learn like that.
Yes. And why take the course? So the basic reason any of us study and practice Buddhism, we think, is to find more joy, more calm, and meaning in our lives. And that's the basic reason to do these basic Tibetan practices and why we designed this course.
Basically, our kind of main purpose is like, we are in the 21st century right now, and we are tired of so many different things. We never give ourselves to think about it, just relax or calm, get some sort of a meditation, sort of giving space ourselves. So this is this course designed to help you to do kind of a little more daily life, a little bit more calmer.
Yeah. Okay, then the 8 specific practices that you learn in the course, and I want you to see that this is set up in weeks, but it's totally self-paced. So this, these is just a structure. So the first unit is the shrine, and you see this one, this webinar as actually a taste of the kinds of things that we would teach in that first lesson. The second unit is mantras. So those ones that some of the ones that Lobsang mentioned and a few others. So Om Muni Muni Mahamuni Soha and Om Tare Tudare Tudare Soha, other basic common mantras. Third unit is water offerings, how to make water offerings. The fourth is Tengwa, or prayer beads, or malas, how to pray with them, how to count with them. The fifth is prostrations. 6 are a series of common prayers, some of the most basic Tibetan common prayers. 7th is Kora, or making circumambulations. 8th is karma, some very basic concepts about karma. That's a really fun unit. And then bonuses is the last section. And let's look actually at the bonus lessons. So the first bonus lesson is, can you pronounce this? I have a hard time.
Yeah, the first bonus is we call Domju, basically Tibetan grace.
And you see actually on the right side of the screen is a handout from the course. And this is very typical of the course handouts. It gives you the prayer in Tibetan, in transliterated Tibetan, and then in English. And this is just, you can print it out and help you to learn it. Another bonus lesson is on the Manjushri mantra, and both of these and many of these actually have videos that go with them, kind of teach you step by step how to say these prayers and mantras. There's the Guru Rinpoche mantra, a long life prayer for His Holiness the Dalai Lama, Shantideva's dedication prayer, a very beautiful prayer that is His Holiness' favorite prayer. And then there's a cheat sheet on Buddhist etiquette, which is like a whole lot of kind of tips on how to behave respectfully, or how Tibetans would consider respectful behavior. There's some basic core learning tools in the course. The basic lesson is a written lesson that you receive. There's also an audio version of each lesson. The entire lesson is read out if you prefer to listen to things kind of podcast style. There are 14 videos with step-by-step instructions. There's 15 handouts, similar to the one that you saw for the Tamche. And what these practices teach us. So our basic goal, like we said, in setting up this course, was to show people how to do these most common Tibetan Buddhist practices, because they teach us these important concepts like generating a generous spirit, calming and focusing your mind, learning through practice that helping other people brings you joy. And then a few FAQs, frequently asked questions. So one of the most popular questions that we get for Lobsang is, what's your lineage?
Normally, yeah, this is actually my family lineage is Sakya lineage. But I study in Gelug, so I myself consider a Gelugpa, because I study at the Institute of Buddhist Dialectic. They taught us Gelug tradition.
And then how do I know that you are an authentic Tibetan Buddhist teacher?
So basically, I'm not Buddhist teacher, because I know a few things, but I don't know how to teach. I also, order to be the with this teacher, you have to be yourself really you have to be really good teacher. So I'm not like that at all. So I don't know how to teach.
So we want to be very clear that, we're not certainly Dharma teachers, that you might have at your Dharma center, or, no kind of Lama, no kind of guru. So what we offer is very solid, authentic Tibetan Buddhist cultural training. So these practices are, deep in Tibetan culture, and these like Lobsang is, of course, like overqualified to teach us these core principles of how any Tibetan would learn these concepts at home. So we hope that helps. When does the course start and end, and do I need to sign up at a special time? It does not start and end at any special time. It's ongoing. You can register, today, tomorrow, next week, in 3 months. So it's kind of an ongoing course, self-paced. And do you need to sign up at a special time? No, you can sign up kind of anytime. And then we're often asked if there's a time limit on the course materials. There is not. So the materials never expire, and you get you get these materials all at once. They don't come to you like week by week or unit by unit. As soon as you register for the course, you get all of the materials, and you can take it at the pace that you want, and they never expire. So as long as our website is up, and we have no intention of putting our website down, as long as it's helpful for people, we will continue to run this course, and it'll be available to you if you're in the course. So how much time and effort does it take?
Normally, we sort of designed this maybe 2 hours for a week. So depends on how much you have time. You can spend it as much as you want. Also, you can take letters that you want. Basically, this is your pace.
Yeah. And then what if you don't like it? That's very simple. There's a 90-day, 100% guarantee. So if you take the class, and after a day or after a month or after 2 months or after 90 days, you don't like the course for any reason, you're not satisfied, you don't feel like you got your money's worth, no problem. You shoot us an email. You tell us you didn't like it and you want to be refunded, and we'll refund you 100% of the money. We don't want to keep anybody's money if they're not happy with our course. We've never had anybody refund the course after they took it. And we feel very confident that people will be happy with it. But if you're not happy with it for any reason, you don't even have to give us a reason, you will refund your money. And then what's the difference between the VIP and independent study level? So the two levels have all the exact same course content in every way, except the VIP level gives you access to our private Facebook group. And in that group, we personally respond to your questions, and you have the support of the community in there, right?
Right.
And then what does the course cost? So the VIP level is normally $247. The webinar special with a coupon today, which you have on the resource page, is $197. The independent study is normally $147, and the webinar special pricing, so with a coupon during the webinar and for about 45 minutes after, it's $97. So the special pricing will be available for about 45 minutes after the webinar ends. And by the way, those special downloads on the resource page, those will also be available for about 45 minutes after the webinar ends, which hopefully gives you plenty of time to go get those downloads. Okay, last break for the questions. And then we will do our drawing. We're almost there. Let's just give a little different view here. And let's see I'm looking on Google Plus for the questions. Any other questions? Oh, we have 51 viewers on Google right now. Welcome all of you who joined us later. So please do ask your questions. I'm just going through seeing if there are any new ones. Okay, we're looking on the. I'm looking on the Facebook page to see if. What are your thoughts on the prayer wheels?
The prayer wheels, you can put on prayer wheel on your shrine. Normally, actually, prayer wheel we kind of keep aside because we use this prayer wheel sometimes. If you have a bigger prayer wheel, of course you can't, kind of use daily basis. We put some certain area, then people use the prayer wheel.
Okay.
Definitely, you can put your prayer wheel on your shrine.
Okay, especially if you have a kind of smaller one, that's fine. And then someone, Laura asked the difference between the independent study and the VIP levels. Laura, I hope we covered that. Let us know. Diane asked, as far as the Tanka, Shakyamuni in the middle, Padmasambhava on the left, Green Tara on the right. So if you have Padmasambhava, Buddha Shakyamuni, and then Green Tara, is that okay?
That should be fine. Basically, Buddha Shakyamuni is central, and then the left is Guru Rinpoche, and the other one is Tara is fine.
Okay. So I think we got all the questions on the from the Facebook guys. We're just having a quick look again at our we're just having a quick look again at the Google Plus questions.
I don't think we have any more new questions.
Okay, I wanted to cover very quickly a couple of questions that people asked us before the webinar. And that was, I had set up my table with, and I forgot the person, so forgive me, but I had set up my table with one bowl for water. How many do we have to have and why? I have flowers as well and incense. So the water offering bowls.
How many?
They have one.
Oh, one is, normally it depends, always we put it 7 or 5 or 17, 21, we put all kinds of stuff, but one is, I think, fine. There's no really say depending scripture says, oh, you have to have water bowl, just only 7. There's nothing like that. So I think it should be okay.
Okay. And then, I'm sorry, I'm just looking at some questions here. And so one says, I do have a question about building a shrine. My personal dilemma is I live with other people in a big home where I'm the only Buddhist, and all my precious Buddhist statues, flags, and everything is in my bedroom. For many years, I've had to do all of my practices in there with my door closed, and I don't have an official shrine. So my main question is how to set up everything small in a corner or in the closet or somewhere where I can make it my official shrine area for my Buddha practice.
I think if you have little, bigger clothes, that'd be awesome to put because you can keep clean that area.
Okay. What did you say?
Closet area.
Oh, if you have an inside a closet, it's okay?
A closet. I don't know, closet area, if you put a bunch of clothes and also shoes is not that great. So you need to be there kind of,
Can you shut the door on it?
Yeah, sure, you can shut the door.
Okay, so that sounds fine. And then someone had asked us also about having her shrine in her room on her clothes dresser.
That's okay. If you put in your clothes dresser and dresser, it's actually is fine. But you don't want to put your clothing on shrine.
Say that again. You don't want to put your clothes
on the shrine, but in dresser is different.
Okay. Okay. And all right, so I think unless anybody has a last minute question on Google Plus, I think we are almost near our end here. Or last, you want to have a quick last look at the
Facebook? I don't
Yeah.
think that's.
Okay. So hold up. We're just going to go here. And time for the giveaway. So
Okay, we're gonna look at the giveaway. Where is it?
there.
I think giveaway is who is the winner? George Smith.
Not George Smith, Greg Smith.
Greg Smith.
So
Congratulations.
congratulations, Greg. You are the winner for our course. Greg Smith, and we have a Gmail for you, but you might want to shoot us an extra, you might want to shoot us an email at yawangdu@yawangdu.com just to make sure we have your contact, and we will refund what you paid for the course. And we're so happy that you're our winner, and thank you for joining us. Okay.
Thank you so much for joining this webinar. I really appreciate your participation. I hope we all see you sometime soon.
Yes, and if you're still here, we're just going to try and stop sharing. Here we are. So hey everybody, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. It was just wonderful having you here. If you have more questions, shoot us an email, send them on Facebook. If you had any trouble with anything, let us know. We'll be happy to do this. And we hope to do some replays of this webinar, and maybe in the future we might do another webinar. But you know, if you're on our email list or in Facebook or on our Google Plus pages, we'll send information about that. And thank you again. It was really wonderful to have you here. Bye, everybody.
Thank you so much. Okay, hope to see you soon.
Bye.